Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to share some tips on how to kick refined sugar if you want to. So first off, I think it'll be helpful to rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. What role does sugar play in your day-to-day life? So come up with that number. Think about your breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, what have you, drinks, and come up with a number. So our goal today is going to be to understand refined sugar and then get really good at recognizing how and where it shows up in the food and drinks that we're consuming daily. We also want to learn the effects of processed sugar and what we can do about reducing it if we want to. So you're watching this video, so I'm guessing you're intrigued at least, or maybe you want to. So the role and the effects of added sugar, it's interesting. Sugar plays the filler role in a lot of foods. It kind of fattens a food out, helps it give it shape, helps give the weight to the volume in the product. It lights up the pleasure center in the brain though, so it's not there for no reason. It's not just there to give it bulk. It's designed intentionally to give your brain that hit, that happy hit. There's a reason why you want to return and eat those sweet foods that you enjoy, maybe when you're watching a movie or when you're numbing out from the day or you're on a road trip, any of those things. Added sugar, unfortunately, lacks nutritional value because it's refined. It's had all the nutritional value removed. So this is very different than eating grapes, a carrot, an apple, fresh pineapple. All of those produce items have fiber and they have nutrients, making that sugar content very different when it hits your bloodstream. Let's talk about something called the blood sugar roller coaster. When you take in refined sugar, you put yourself on a roller coaster. You may or may not know that that's what you're doing, but that's the effect that refined sugar has on your bloodstream. The sugar creates a spike, which we experience as kind of a euphoric high. We've got some energy, we're happy. Unfortunately, that high is always followed by a low or a crash. That typically looks like we're going to start craving something. We're really lacking energy. A lot of times we're searching for caffeine. We're searching for that hit of a carbohydrate or a sugar to kind of bring us back up. A lot of times we're doing this subconsciously. We don't even know that that's what's going on for us. We're doing this mindlessly, searching for the beverage, searching for the snack. Years ago, I used to eat all kinds of processed foods and lots of added sugar in my diet. And I would hit this just total crash fog window in the late afternoon, somewhere between 3:30 and 5 p.m.-ish. And I would just kind of bottom out. Sometimes I would even like fall asleep for 10 minutes, 12 minutes, just totally at the floor of myself. When I would wake up, I would invariably head to a carbohydrate source of some kind. Maybe it was some potato chips, maybe it was some dry cereal. I wasn't even thinking about what I was doing. I just was so low, so flat, had no energy, and I would just consume this carbohydrate until I felt myself kind of level out, coming up out of that crash. So some other effects of the sugar on the bloodstream and this roller coaster that I'm describing to you are brain fog, again, just like no energy. And on a consistent basis, you're going to be struggling with weight gain. You know, maybe you can get a few pounds off, but shoot, they seem to come right back. Bigger picture, long term, you're going to develop insulin resistance and put yourself at an increased risk of disease if you ride this roller coaster consistently for a year's time. The American Health Association recommends that you cap your sugar intake at about 24 grams or less per day. So let's put that into context. An average 12-ounce can of soda has 39 grams of sugar. So you're about 1.5 times your daily limit there with one can of soda. 16-ounce pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks contains 50 grams of sugar. So you've got 2 days worth of sugar in just that one beverage. And when we consume too much sugar, the body's repair process is hindered. It can have an impact on our relationships. We are impatient, we're under stress, and it can cause strain not only on our insides, but on our outside world as well. So the good news is that there are easy, affordable strategies that I'm going to offer to you today that can prevent all of this. So today we're going to look at what can drinking water do, adding in protein, reading food labels, introducing whole foods, swapping sugar out for other nutrient ingredients that can provide that same sense of sweetness, and also curiosity. Let's see what curiosity can do to help us eliminate added sugar. So when you think about drinking water, I want you to drink it when you're awake. I really do mean that. When you get up in the morning till you go to bed at night, I want you to be drinking water. Maybe not right up until you go to bed at night, but start first thing in the morning. Make it really easy to drink water. Start right when you're out of bed in the morning. Being hydrated changes your body chemistry. It changes how your brain functions. You're literally a different person when you're hydrated than when you're dehydrated. I had a child, I really wish I would have recognized it, but he was so susceptible to dehydration, and his mood and his self-control would just tank when he was dehydrated. Looking back now, I know that had I just pushed some more water for him, it would have really changed a lot of things. He struggled a lot more than he needed to just because he was dehydrated. Sugar cravings are diminished when you're hydrated as well, so you can have those lovely whatevers paraded out in front of you, and you just don't care as much. You're not as vulnerable. Next, I'm going to encourage you to add protein. Protein slows down the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream. So that's pretty cool. So if there are sugars in your bloodstream, that protein is just going to slow them down getting into the bloodstream, and then therefore you're not going to have the highs and the lows. And protein keeps you fuller longer, so that means you get full faster, you're full longer, you're going to overall be consuming less calories in the day. It crowds out sweets by eliminating things from your appetite because you're just full, you're satisfied, you're not looking for other things to put in your mouth and make you happy. I want you to consider a wide variety of animal and plant proteins. There's many options out there. So think about what is best for you. You can get protein from nuts, seeds, beans, seafood, tofu, nut butters, lentils, and so much more. Of course, there's chicken and turkey. Consider what's best for you, and then try to get in anywhere from 50 to 80, 90 grams per day. Of course, it depends on your body weight and your stature. Pick the best option for you and then incorporate it into every meal and snack. Don't think about it for lunch and dinner. Think about having it when you're eating food. Reading labels can really help. A lot of times when we're eating dessert, we are expecting there to be added sugar in our diet, but sugar finds its way into lots of things that are not cheesecake or ice cream. It is found in sauces and dressings and health foods like protein bars, also in cereals that we think of as healthy, and even pizza sauce. So start reading labels. Start in your own kitchen, look in your pantry, look in your fridge, but then of course when you're at the grocery store, turn the jar, box, can around and just look for that added sugar line. Many times there's a different item on the shelf that contains 0 added sugar, so that's the one you want. Whole foods. I want you to put some whole foods on your dinner plate. First, they have to go on your grocery cart before they can get on your dinner plate. So introduce some colorful, beautiful whole foods. The great thing about whole foods is that they're nutrient dense as opposed to being nutrient poor. A whole food leaves you satisfied. You're actually fed. Lots of times we're eating food and we make our tummy full, but we're not necessarily satisfying our nutritional need. So whole foods are going to help with that because of the nutrient density that they bring. And it leaves you, again, insulated. You're not so susceptible to craving the foods that you actually don't want to be eating. When you're craving free, you're objective. You get to choose, and you can easily say no to the things that are full of added sugar that aren't supportive of your health goals. And the really great thing about all of this is that you can do it without feeling sad or mad or deprived or using willpower. Try sugar swaps. So rather than using refined sugar, try some other things. There are plant-based sweeteners out there that have a 0 glycemic index. A glycemic index is the impact of a particular food on the bloodstream. So 0 glycemic index means it's not going to help spike that blood sugar level. The body's not going to have to do anything to level it out. It's not going to have to produce insulin to bring you back into that healthy range. The goal here is stable blood sugar, and that is how you get consistent all-day energy. No crashing, you easily maintain your ideal body weight. I'll say that again. With stabilized blood sugar, you easily maintain an ideal body weight. Sound too good to be true? It's not. The great thing about having what I call our safe suites is that you can have them at home easily, and then when you're out in the world, whether it's dining with friends, having coffee with somebody, you can say no to the muffin, the pie, the whatever it is that's, paraded out at the end of the meal or in the middle of the coffee, and you don't feel like you're using willpower to do it. It's easy to say no because you've already had something sweet and satisfying the day before, earlier that day at your house that didn't spike your blood sugar. So again, this eliminates the need to use willpower. Willpower is unfun, and it's very difficult to maintain it over the course of a lifetime. Some of the alternatives that you can use when you're swapping sugar out for other ingredients are plant-based items like honey, agave, stevia, monk fruit white is a replacement for white table sugar. Monk fruit golden is a replacement for brown sugar. You can use dates, you can use coconut sugar. So there are lots of choices. I was able to up-level a recipe for white macadamia nut chocolate chip cookies, and they passed my husband's taste test, which means they must be really good because he's really enjoys a good tasting cookie. So I know if it passes his test, then it works. Lastly, I want to encourage you to use curiosity over criticism. Step back and evaluate what is going on when you're realizing you ate a lot more ice cream than you wanted to, or you ate ice cream in the first place and you didn't intend to have it. When the sleeve of cookies disappeared a lot faster than you thought they were going to. Rather than being critical of yourself or haranguing yourself, beating yourself up for doing that, that really won't get you anywhere. I really instead would encourage you to consider what was going on in your bigger picture life. Was there a prolonged stressor that was happening? Had something stressful just gone on that day? Maybe a conversation with a friend or a family member didn't go the way you wanted it to, an incident at work, something that came along and overwhelmed you. Be a student of what preceded going into the box of cookies or into the bowl of ice cream. Many times in life, we're looking for comfort, and we end up finding it in something to satisfy us, something that lights up the pleasure center in the brain to kind of counter whatever it is that's been stressful in life. So if we know what's happening, so you got to be curious and investigate a little bit, but if we know what's happening, then we can create a plan next time. We can build some safety into our home. We can create some safe suites at our house. We can also bring comfort to ourselves in some other forms. We can go for a long walk in a beautiful nature setting. We can take a hot bath. We can put on clothes that are really comfy and comforting. But I want you to know that no one has ever been critical enough of themselves, been mean enough to themselves to reach their health goals. So it just doesn't work like that. So skip the criticism and go with curiosity instead. Intentionality is everything, and this is kind of my final note I'm going to close on here. My business is called Life on Purpose, and that's because I deeply believe that with forward thought, followed by some intentional actions, you can get whatever it is that you want. So your health is everything. Your health equals opportunity. It equals your ability to speak into the world and to do the thing that you're really passionate about doing. So it's a big deal. With some intention, you can get what you want. So go back and review some of the tips in this video. Pick one or two. Decide for yourself that refined sugar is going to play a smaller role in your life. Give it a try, getting off the roller coaster, just going with that stabilized blood sugar, consistent energy all day, not fighting the scale going up and, maybe having success. Oh, it went back down, but then it goes up again. Just put all that in the rear view. You can do it. All right, that's all for now.